Welcome to Find Your Fridays. It's me, Lorene Hughes. I'm your intuitive connector for tonight. And it feels good to be here. Nice to have a little rest, you know. It's good to have a little bit of me time on a Friday night. That's the reason why we had a little bit of a rest last week. But we're all ready for Christmas. Yay! Well, sort of. Oh dear. Anyway, I hope that you're doing really super duper duper well. Hello. Hello, Malik. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Do you know what? I'm feeling generous. What question do you have? You have about 30 seconds to get it in. And I will draw one card for you. So I'm just waiting for my other regular viewers to come in. I can start working on this. Okay. Please advise regarding when I will have resources for job in abroad. Interesting. Hi, Tamara. Hello, gorgeous one. All right. I am actually not going to draw a card for you, Mullet. You wish to go abroad? Then you can do that. You just have to choose it. And it's the funniest thing when you start choosing things from that space of anything is possible. The most amazing, marvelous things can happen. So just for those of you who are not on YouTube, this is the question that is being asked. And when I ponder, as I have been recently, about things like finances and stuff like that, and then I think back over the times when I have done very big, bold choices with things like travel, to anybody's logical spaces that go, Lorene, what the hell are you doing? Like when I moved to Australia from New Zealand, I didn't really have money behind me, but I made it happen. When I went to Hawaii, I didn't have money behind me really, but I was able to get a personal loan. And because I had a stable enough job to do so. And so I went to Hawaii. When I went to America before that, back in 2009, I sort of had money behind me at that time. I was in a pretty decent job. And I had almost paid off my credit card, but that ended up being a credit card trip. So I'm not advising you to go and get credit cards and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is when you're open to different possibilities, amazing things can happen. Okay. Good evening, Melinda. All right. So let us have a look and see. So show me a yes. Show me a no. Okay. All right. Truth. Will Malik Marin, 1941, go overseas in 2026? That's a very good yes. Truth. Will they have a job in overseas in 2026? Yep. Truth, do they require to shift some points of views around money and resources to be able to achieve this dream of working overseas? Interesting. It went bleh. Okay, so we've got to ask a different question then. All right. So truth, will they have, now let's come back to center. Truth, will they have the resources to go overseas in 2026 for a job? Again, it's saying yes. So something's going to pop up, my dear. Something's going to pop up and you are going to have the resources for your job in 2026. So whatever that is, it could even be that the job you get may actually pay for all of your relocation. Just depends on the job that you're going for, I guess. So good luck with that. And may this lovely big full moon in Gemini help you with your wishes and your dreams. And for 2026, I wish you the most and the bestest luck. All right. So lovely to see you, Miss Melinda. Oh boy. So yes, as I was saying, it's good to have a little break every now and then, just to do some self-care and self-nurturing. It's been a bit of a full-on couple of weeks, and with the Sophia Code and a couple of other things popping up. And so that was, and then there was the weather last week, and I was just, I just did not have the patience to deal with the weather and my own self. And so it was like, that was why we had a little bit of a rest last week. It was just like, yeah, no. The rain is a blessing and an absolute beautiful blessing for the earth because we really required it. And I was just like, So there's been lots of cool, fun things happen this week. A lot of processing still, especially through the early part of the week. And one of the things came up around, there was some interesting stuff that came up. And what I ended up doing, and it was around finances and money. And yes, I was probably picking up on a lot of other people's stuff, you know, particularly around this time of the year. And so I ended up having a lovely bath and then listening to this little gem. Yes, I am one of those crazy old people who still has CDs. But this particular regression CD is where I go to for the initial stages of figuring out when something is bubbling up that I don't know. Like, I'm aware that it's probably to do in another lifetime, and I require somebody else to facilitate me through that process initially. Then I can go off and do my own digging work and things like that to find out what the hell's going on. But Dr. Brian Weiss, if you have not read his book, Many Lives, Many Masters, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you are new to the whole spiritual world and trying to figure out how shit all fits together and stuff like that, I highly recommend Many Lives, Many Masters. It was one of the very first sort of metaphysical books that I ever read. And I actually mean read. I didn't listen to it. I read it. And this CD actually came with my copy. And I have listened to this CD, I don't know how many times. It has 2 different regression meditations in it. And I think when I last checked, he has these things in digital form now, so that you can actually purchase them on digital, which is really cool because that means you can take them anywhere. But because I have the CD, I work with it as it is, and I have the ability to play it. So why throw out old technology? So yeah, that was really interesting. And the fascinating thing is there was the lifetime, hi Edwina, the lifetime that I went into showed me some really interesting stuff around some of my education pathways back, oh gosh, I'm going to say, what are we, 2000? Probably almost 3,000 years ago. So it's a long time ago. And it was a beautiful time, but the earth was still in a space of, it was quite the dichotomy, in that there was some very beautiful places like Mystery School, if you're aware of that sort of concept, where it was learning about how energy and the planets and very high chemistry, physics, and metaphysics and all of that, how all of that works in together, healing and that sort of stuff. And it was very, very peaceful. It was just such a beautiful, beautiful lifetime to drop into. And we didn't want for anything. Everything was provided for us. We had very simple requirements because our focus was on being scholars and learning and learning all of the great mysteries of the universe and the body and people and all of that sort of thing. And so we just had like white robes, and you got to know the level of somebody's education by the sash or the rope that they wore around the middle as a belt. And it was, they had the people had long white hair, and done in a sort of, I guess, a sort of similar style to what I've done tonight, sort of the half up, half down thing. And we didn't eat a hell of a lot. It was just sustenance for when it was required kind of thing. And the community provided. Like, there were other people who weren't scholars that were part of this community that did food and all of that sort of thing. Good spotting, Melinda. Unfortunately, like I said, this time there was still the dichotomy where you had this beautiful place full of incredible learning and mystery. And yes, we use things like crystal power to light up spaces, and like we didn't use oil lamps and things like that, oil lamps and candles. It was, if you've read Jesus and the Essenes by Dolores Cannon, it was similar to that. And unfortunately, there were people that were outside of that were jealous. And so they came along and they completely, totally and utterly destroyed the community. And they killed my father, who was there as a scholar as well. And I ended up homeless. And I was just trying to find somewhere to take refuge or shelter in. And the only thing of value was the fact that my sash was gold. And so they took it off me and then killed me. Punched me and kicked me and slaughtered me. And so why I'm telling you this is because there was some stuff coming up for me around finances. And when I went into that regression, I asked, can you please show me the very first time I ever felt the lack of finances? And that was the very first lifetime they ever showed me. So there's some healing that had to happen with that. But along with that, the lessons or the beautiful messages that I received is that your life is far greater than what's in the bank. My life in that lifetime was full and rich of knowledge and community and communion with earth and the planets and the energies and with all the people that were in my community. And that's how I feel now with you all. I feel so rich. I feel so blessed to have the gift of you here. I feel gift to have this beautiful space to come to you in. And I feel just so very, very, very lucky that in this day and age, with the way that the rentals and everything are going, that I have a stable job, that I've got all these different things in place already that are just so contributing to me having this amazing life. And all of the other little financial stuff that was going on in the background has just kind of gently melted away this week as I focused more on what things are making my life a blessing. And that's what I wish to come to you tonight to start off the show with, is what, instead of judging what you don't have, what can you feel grateful for today? What can you feel like it's such a blessing to have in your world? And sure, we've had a couple of very hot days here in Adelaide this week, and both of those days I worked in houses with no aircon going, and it was hot. It was uncomfortable. It was hot. It made me, have to go out to the car a lot to have drinks of water. And then I was grateful for the water. I was grateful for the fact my car has good air conditioning. I was grateful for just so many other things. So I wish to bring that to you today. Okay. Melinda, you're saying you're having some self-care this weekend, as I have picked up a cold/infection. So I'm just chilling this weekend and early week till I am rostered back at work later in the week. Fabulous. You're upgrading. Well done. Nice little detox for you before the silly season begins. Love it. The tea that I have, if you are following me over on Facebook, you'll already know what it is. It's the Calm Me tea from the English Tea Shop. And I did bring my little advent calendar. So there we go. Because I bought this one. And I'm still doing my other one sort of privately. But this one has been a real treat. So the Calm Me one has cinnamon, peppermint, licorice, and lavender in it. It's rather lovely, I have to say. So did you want to have a look inside just quickly in case you're not following me on Facebook? Here we go. So this is what I've been doing every morning. I'm putting a little video up. And so there we go. You can see we've done 5 so far because today is the 5th. So isn't that just so cute? And they have the little list over here of all the different ones that you can get. And there's, I didn't really want to look and have spoilers, but apparently there's 2 of each flavor. So that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to some of them, even though I've tried not to look. I don't like spoilers. I like surprises. Yes, kind of figured it was an upgrade detox, as I have also started a full carnivore 14 days ago. Whoa! and possibly dumping a few oxalates. Oh, yes. Oxalates. For those of you who don't know, oxalates are happy little chemicals that are sitting like crystals in things like fruit and vegetables. And when I did an oxalate dump, I started getting kind of like really crusty eyes in the morning. Like I'd wake up in the morning and my eyelids would be stuck together as if I had conjunctivitis. And then I'd rub it and I'd just find all these little wee crystals all sticking to my eyelashes. And that lasted about a week. There was nothing wrong. Like there was no, my eyes weren't red, they weren't itchy, nothing like that. Yes, I love that you've been watching the tea unboxings. That's really cool. So yeah, oxalate dumping, it's a thing. For some people, I think I get a little bit of oxalate dumping now if I happen to have some stuff more than usual. I get pimples, they come out. And I do recall when I did full carnivore and my big oxalate dumping, I did get some sort of like pimple type things coming out on my chest. I did notice that, which was interesting because I don't generally get pimples down there. So yeah, interesting how the body dumps different things. So the other thing that's new in here, besides my little Christmas tree, which Melinda has spotted, is actually over here is a Christmas wreath that I made several years ago. And that one was another craft class gift in there. So yeah, things have just sort of jiggled around today. Just getting a little bit more in the Christmas spirit. I did have the tree up higher, but it's quite full on. And so I was like, yeah, no, you can just see like the top half. That'll be good. Because it's just like very distracting. And in other news, so since I've seen you last, I was gifted this beautiful tiger's eye pendulum. And I didn't have a chain for it. And so I've sacrificed one of my necklaces to give it a chain. And because I don't wear gold as such, it's very rare for me to wear gold. So I was like, yeah, no, you can go. You can be on the pendulum. I will appreciate you so much more as part of my pendulum. So there we go. We have another lovely little gift. Another little link into, I think that might be Metatron. I'm not sure. So, oh, Metatron's still there. See, he's over there. But yeah, so we've got Metatron over there behind my head. I haven't quite figured out where I'm going to put Metatron yet. I may put Metatron up over here by the stick over there. We shall see. So this might come out a little bit more tonight. All right, so let us get into a weekly reading. It's enough show and tell for today. What have you guys all been up to over this last couple of weeks? I'd love to know. We, of course, have the lovely Merkaba. Thank you, Melinda. We have the lovely big full moon energies tonight. And it's just something I have to write down just quickly. Cool. Okay, that's for our meditation later on. It came in as I was getting ready and I didn't have anything around me to write something down. So I used to have a full set of the different shapes in my old lifetime that I was just telling you about would be most disappointed in me that I don't remember what they all were, like all the different shapes. But they had some really bad juju attached to them. So I had to get rid of those ones. Had to split them up, separate them, bury some of them, dump some of them. It was a lovely set too. It was quite the shame. But I just couldn't shift the energy off of them. It was something that just had to be scattered. Had to be scattered to be able to break the energy on them. Okay. Realised I haven't got that in the right spot either. Cool bananas. Okay, so it's from the 6th to the 12th of December. Wow. Can we even? It's my little brother's birthday today. He's what I, for a long time, called my baby brother. Tamara, busy with end of school activities. My son is into his last week of primary school. Wow. I've created a free guidebook and sent it out to the world, and I've spent a lot of time learning about the back end of my website and building landing pages. Fantastic, Tamara. It does take such a long time to do that sort of stuff, doesn't it? Such a very, very, very long time. I spent, I don't know how many hours and hours and hours building up my Crafting Possibilities website. It was weeks, weeks and weeks. All right. So we've got, as I said, we've got the full moon energies functioning at the moment. So the full moon was last night. So we're still very much in that full moon energy and obviously in shadow period tomorrow and the next day. So here's how Ina is guiding us for this next week. The first one that we have, which totally makes sense because it's full moon in Gemini. And full moon in Gemini is about having fun and getting out there and being, childlike wonder stuff, right? And I have to say, whenever a full moon comes up, I don't really feel particularly childlike, regardless of what sign it's in. So yeah, safe to say, it's been an interesting full moon for me because I've been trying very, very hard to not overthink and just to be gentle and present in the moment. So it's a little bit about communication and insight and it's a very, very interesting time. It's a very interesting time with it being in Gemini and all. And of course we're in a Sagittarius season. But yes. So yes, full moon in Gemini. We like Geminis because they can be quite, let's have a look at this option. Let's have a look at that option, right? And when you are around a Gemini, you'll see that a lot, which is fun. So anyway, the very first card to come up for this lovely full moon week is watermelon, which is have fun with your inner child. So it's not surprising at all that that has come up, given that we are full moon Gemini, all that sort of thing. So it's cool. It's cool. It's a lot more lighthearted than some of the other readings that we've had. Then we jump into red, which is about freeing yourself from pain. So this week, if you have any pain points come up, whether they be physical or emotional, I highly recommend you dig down underneath. What is it underneath that is causing that pain? So, for example, I, from time to time, get a bit of pain across my hip, the top of my hip, like my hip bone, not the joint underneath, but it's almost like it's just across the top edge. And I know when that comes up, particularly if it's on my right hand side, that's my masculine is crying out for some relief and some rest. It's like, hey man, I've been doing too much lately. And it's interesting when that comes up now, because my masculine side never ever used to do that, which is beautiful, because it shows me how much work I have done this year to allow my masculine side to really step down and to allow my feminine side to step up. Because now when my masculine side's saying, hey, we've been too stressed, we're worrying about too many things, this is not fun for me anymore, it starts getting it like sore, achy across the top of my hip. So isn't that great? So look beyond the pain. All right. Earlier in the week, I was doing a lot of dumping, and I had a thumper of a headache. Now, I don't get headaches generally, and I haven't had headaches for a long time, but this one came up and it was above my right eye, and it was right here in the temples, which is like my form and structure and my healing bars and hopes and dreams. And I'm just like, this whole area was just like boof, boof, boof. I'd had plenty of water. I'd had a bath with loads of salts in it. I had, all the things that I thought at the time. And I went to bed thinking, okay, maybe it's just rest. Maybe I just required some rest. At 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd massaged really, really deeply. No, still didn't work. Went to sleep, woke up at 3 in the morning. It was still thumping, because much like you, Melinda, I was detoxing. I was energy dumping big time, because I'd had my bath and I'd done the regression. And what I didn't think about was the fact that Tulsi tea, sacred Tulsi tea, is my medicine. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was up making a cup of tea, and within 20 minutes of finishing the tea, my headache had gone. So Tulsi tea, if you haven't got any, I highly recommend you get some. And it is hard to get it in organic form, but when you come across it, please get it, use it, and it'll help a lot when you're upgrading. It really, really helped me when I was going through that time of radiation poisoning a few years ago. Microwave radiation type stuff. So yeah, it's just a fabulous, fabulous tool. So yes, look beyond the pain. What is it that's causing it? Is it a dumping? Is it a detoxing? Is it your body trying to say, hey, we require some more balance here? Is it saying, hey, we've got too much of a certain energy? Is it because you're too stressed? Is it you're giving away your power? There's so many reasons why your body could be acting up in pain, and it's got nothing to do with the actual pain. The pain is just the symptom. It's not the cause. Okay? So look beyond the pain, do some digging, figure out what it is. You can even do some writing, intuitive writing, and you can put at the top of the page, I am feeling this pain because, or you could even write, underneath this pain is, and that will just start bringing up some stuff. All right. Interesting. Gold. Attract abundance. Remember your words. So given that we're in full moon energy, your words are even more powerful now than they've ever been. This is the last full moon of this year. This is the last, and it's a very potent full moon. I think, if I remember rightly, it's a super moon for a start, but also it's the end of the 9 cycle. So it's not just the end of 1 year, it's the end of a cycle as well. So whatever words you are saying at the minute, particularly about finances, your body, relationships, anything like that, your creations, they are very, very powerful, and they're sinking very deeply and spreading out very, very far right now. So it's important that you remember that, so that you can let that stuff work for you rather than against you. Yeah? So remember that for the week to come. Okay? And attract abundance. Bring it in. Let it come to you instead of running away from you. Okay? And always approach the week with grace. We love a bit of grace in the world. And what I see with the word grace is compassion as well. Remember, we don't know everybody else's story. And there will be people at the moment who are going through a lot of grief. There's been a lot of people pass away this year, and friends and family and co-workers and all sorts of things. And this will be the first Christmas without them around, and that can play on people's minds. And they may not talk about it openly. So just have some grace, have some compassion. Okay. It's going to be a good week though, especially if you start the week with watermelon and have some fun. Play with your inner child. Alrighty, Edwina. It is you're first up, please. If you could pop your question in the chat. Who's gonna come play with Edwina? So something that you may or may not know is, I'm sure you do, but in case you don't, you can actually have one-on-one sessions with me. And these one-on-one sessions are tailored to you. And we can cover all sorts of things. We can do past life regressions. We can do a lot of healing in a past life regression. We can tackle connecting with your business. We can tackle rebalancing your masculine and feminine energies. We can tackle all sorts of things. And so I would just like to remind you that if you do wish to book yourself in a online session, this is the way to do it. And I love doing those sessions, and like a lot of people, you know, in this day and age, everybody's putting up their prices. I haven't put up my price for, gosh, at least 5 years, and I don't intend to. So thank you, Tamara. And because I believe that these sorts of sessions require to be attainable for anybody to choose. And that's why I've walked away from certain modalities, because they got too money hungry. And I'm like, no. I wish to be able to connect with people so that they can come to me, and yes, there's an exchange, a monetary exchange, but at the same token, it's not like the rate that I charge is a lot less than I pay for when I go to my mentoring sessions or anything like that. So just want to put it out there. If you feel like there's some extra digging, some nice little nuggets that we can heal with you. I have been working with a client for several weeks now, and she has found some incredible, using a lot of theta healing tools and processings, and she's just having some absolutely phenomenal results in her life. So it's so cool. It's so cool, and I love it. I love doing one-on-one sessions with people and connecting and knowing that together we're crafting some possibilities in your world too, just as I did in mine. So that's sort of what I wish to say. Anywho, so oh, Melinda. She said, I can highly recommend Lorene's one-on-one sessions. They have helped me so much over the past few years. Yes, they are amazing. Thank you. And similarly from Tamara, thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely appreciate you all too. So while we come back to Edwina, let's have a look and see, what does Edwina's team wish for her to know this week? I'm using some cards that I haven't used too terribly often, so you have to bear with me on these ones. Beautiful. Woo! Woo! Jeepers creepers. So it's not long till Christmas. 19 days. Can you even? That's if you don't count Christmas Day. I preferred to count sleeps when I was young, because it was just, you get into these big arguments about how many days it is, because it's like, do you count the day you're in? Do you count actual Christmas Day? But you can't really argue about the sleeps. Oh dear. No, Edwina. Oh. You guys, you beautiful ladies. Oops, there we go. Thank you. Thank you all so very, very much. Wow. And Tamara still counts sleeps too. Now to jump back up here. It's high praise coming from all beautiful women. Thank you so much. Okay. Where are we? I don't necessarily like using these cards because they're a bit hard to figure, like for the book. Okay. What are you? Green border is cups. Okay. Good to know. I do wish they would say that right at the beginning. That would be really helpful. It's like, oh, it does. Well, there you go. I just learned a new thing. Thank you, Edwina. You're teaching me a new thing about my cards. All right. Interesting. So the first card that you got, and the reason why I say interesting, is when I initially looked at the words show something different to the energy of the actual card. So when I open up the book and I'm seeing things like keywords, boredom, disillusion, vigilance, and action, I'm like, So this is the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups cups is about emotions, hence the reason for the boredom. And you can see by the figure there that they're just sort of like gazing out into the world, kind of like, meh, just feeling a little bit stuck, stagnant, gazing, just kind of like observing what is going on. And the interesting thing is, as I am looking at this card and I'm seeing what is in there, I see a lot of reflection happening and a lot of moments of, like, as you're going through this healing stage and this upgrading in your journey, it's like there's often this moment where things just kind of stagnate. There's a space of between the old and the new. And the old and the new, there's this weird void that sits in the middle. And it's kind of like, I don't know if I wish to go to the old or to stay with the new. And it's like the new is unknown. So I really don't know if I want to be there. And yet, you can't really go back to the old because you know too much. So it's a really interesting card to have come up for you, Edwina. And in this book, it says, often in affairs of the heart, you may become complacent, even bored with what you have. You forget to see the magic of your interactions with others and fail to invest time and effort to maintain the human loving link. If you've been looking for a relationship for some time without success, you may become disillusioned or discouraged, no longer believing that a relationship will manifest. Your enthusiasm diminishes and you no longer provide the universe with the energy needed to produce the relationship. The same is true of struggling too long to improve an existing relationship. Now is not the time for complacency. This is your opportunity to attain what you've been seeking or improve what you have. It requires vigilance, action, and enthusiasm. Lift your spirits and look for the opportunity that will present itself and then act. So exactly what the whole thing is, that's everything it says that on there. It's like, I'm feeling a bit ho-hum about life, but hey, there's like some really cool stuff that's happening right here if you're willing to turn around and have a look. But if you're going to sit in your own sorry little hole, then that's all you're going to see. It's like, I can see the world, it's all out there, but I'm not seeing it within myself. It's like, yes, it is. It's all there. Just this big, huge pearl of awesomeness. It's a black pearl at that. All right. Let me see what I get from the next card. 81. Right. Okay, so this is the Three of Pentacles, which is about teamwork, preparation, alchemy, and achievement. So, of course, we've got the words reach out there. We've got the lovely little lass who's sort of sitting by herself and sort of, she's got a little bit of that kind of like, almost like martyrdom energy to her. And yet she's actually sitting on top of hands, which are reaching out to support her. So what I would see for you, Edwina, for this week to come is to have a look and see where you are actually being supported by many people around you if you choose to look. If you choose to focus on the things that are positive and are supportive and lovely, and just like I was saying at the start of the show, where can you be grateful for the things that are around you and the people that are around you rather than judging what you don't have? Like if we were to tell a story about this little lass who's sitting on these hands, she might be sitting there going, I just wish I had somebody next to me to give me hold my hand or put their arm around me and make me feel not quite so alone. And yet there's four sets of hands or four hands that are actually supporting her, but not in the way that she's deemed that she wishes to have. Okay. So just remember that there are a lot of ways that you're being supported, even if it doesn't feel like it. And that those ways that you're being supported may come from your spirit team. They may come from family, friends, even from a distance, friends. There's a lot of ways that people love and support you and lift you up and make you feel good. But if you're constantly focusing on the things that you don't have, that can overpower all of the other lovely, good, wonderful things that you do have. Okay. Okay, so again, reach out. Okay, what have we got here? God, oh, it's a major arcana card. 3. Oops, too far. Apparently I can't count today. All right. The next card that you've got, my love, is Observe. So that to me looks like it could be the World card, yeah? So let's have a look. Release, surrender, consider, reconsider, patience, cycles, and perspective. A new understanding around matters of the heart is waiting to be revealed to you. Be still and observant. Now is not the time to take action. Instead, take a step back and wait. Oh, man. Do you know how many times I have heard from my team, it's like, it's time to sit down, hurry up and wait? That's what this reminds me of. Congratulations. You got the sit down, hurry up and wait card. Reflect upon the relationship or issue. What is really happening? Release the need or desire to direct the relationship and simply go with the course of events. When you surrender to the experience, you'll learn a great deal and ultimately get what you truly require. Sometimes it's in releasing what we discover that we really require, as opposed to what we think we require. Trust the process, have faith in the journey, and let go of the outcome. Although forward progress may appear to be slow, now is the time for patience. All things come in appropriate time and cycle. Progress in improving a current relationship or finding a new relationship will happen when the time and energies are right. When you're open and receptive to the needed change, it will happen. During the process of simply observing, you can also gain a new perspective on your situation. How might you think differently about it? Look at your relationship through the eyes of an impartial stranger. What insights might that stranger offer you? Listen to the observations with an open mind and heart, and by taking a fresh look, you'll bring in energies of awareness and transformation. Oh, okay. So the traditional archetype of this one is actually the Hanged Man. That makes more sense. With it being upside down and all, sort of. I don't quite get how they get the Hanged Man out of that, but anyhow. The affirmation is, I now take a step back and observe my situation in a new light. Okay. So look at your situation through my eyes. What would I see? And have a look at it. Sometimes it's important to look at it through the eyes of your partner, through whoever you're having troubles with. Look at it through their eyes and see you through their eyes. This is a skill that I've had since forever. It freaked a lot of adults out because I could always tell what they were actually up to and why they were doing what they were doing, even if they didn't verbalize it. So use those skills. Take that time to detach from the emotion and see it from a different perspective. Okay. You've got just about one of every suit, which is very cool to see. All right. Okay. Yes, this next card adds on to that previous message. Okay. All right, so this is the Two of Swords. Okay, that's all about intellect. And this is about refusing to see. You can see that lovely little third eye is quite open, but the eyes are down. Okay. Access, decide, impasse, and honesty. This card speaks about how important it is to see relationships as they really are rather than how you'd like them to be. This is not always easy or comfortable thing to do. However, in order to make correct decisions in a relationship, you must be clear about it. Are you maintaining the status quo even though the current situation may not meet your needs? Or are you at an emotional impasse in matters of the heart? At this time, you may be withdrawing emotionally from a relationship or the need to make a decision regarding the relationship. This does not serve your best interests. You must open your eyes and your heart to the truth. By honestly assessing the situation, you'll know just what you require to do. Knowing the truth will make your decision easier and will lead you to a more fulfilling relationship. Okay? So what I can say is, as you become more comfortable with owning your divine feminine, speaking up in your heart is easier. I say easier. It's not easy, it's easier. And I would just like to invite you to, if you have got something that's coming up for you, write it down. Sometimes it's easier to write a letter. I've done that in previous relationships where things were going really, really wonky. Or even, and more recently, just a little bit wonky. And when you write things down, even if it's via text message or things like that, the cool thing about text message that most people hate is the fact that you can actually almost, if you're careful with your wording, leave the majority of the emotional stuff out of it. Because you can't hear tone, you can't hear inflection. So you've got to kind of keep to the facts. And if you keep to the facts and you keep present in the moment, writing it down and sending it via a text message is a hell of a lot easier for the other person to receive, process, and respond to. If you're someone like me who is a recovering people pleaser, being able to have a verbal discussion with somebody and not freak out is very difficult. Because there's that moment, especially if it's a really particularly tough conversation, there's that moment of wanting to just acquiesce and walk away or relent. It's like the fight and flight, fawn and freeze all gets bundled in together, and it's like, ah! And the body just goes, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. But when you write it down, number one, it makes things in your own head really, really clear. And it also means that you're communicating with a lot more clarity and honesty to the other party. And it doesn't matter if it's family, if it's a partner, if it's a co-worker or a friend. If the friend or if any of those people really care, they'll be able to receive that message and respond in a way that is honoring of your guys' relationship. And if they can't do that, then that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Okay? But it takes courage to do that. And I fully acknowledge that too. Especially as a recovering people pleaser. It takes a lot to honor yourself and what you require. All right, last card. little post-it notes on this one, I think. Okay, we're back to Pentacles. All right. So remembering that the Pentacles is earth, grounding, sometimes money. All right. And we've got the Six of Pentacles here, which is about giving and receiving. Look at that lovely energy. Whew. Amazeballs. Balance, reward, share, and ask. When this card appears, relationships take on a loving, balanced energy. Interesting. So there's a real significant shift. If you are honest and open with whoever it is in your life that's creating a little bit of like a wobble in your world, a bit of a crunchy moment in your world, if you're open and honest with them, there is this very high potential that this could actually work out quite well. So when this card appears, relationships take on a loving, balanced energy. You've worked hard to understand yourself and others, and now it's paying off. You're being rewarded with joy and fulfillment. Is there someone in your life who could benefit from what you've learned around matters of the heart? Take some time to share your insights. Be careful though, don't try to solve people's problems. Just be a mentor. Also, look for the other ways that you can be of assistance to those around you, but be sure to give only what you can and no more. In the spirit of balance, be open to receiving support and inspiration from other people. The universe is waiting to help you. You're blessed at this time and will receive additional favors if you ask for what you still require. Trust and that you will receive it. Okay? So you can go from this to this, potentially this week. Feeling quite all alone and not seeing the actual true gifts of beauty that are all around you. Okay. But if you open up your eyes and see the truth, you might actually find that you've got a much greater, stronger community and relationships around you than you ever thought possible. Okay. So you're going to have a week that's focused very, very heavily on how you interact with others and how others are interacting with you. And if there's one particular person that has really got a crick in your craw, it's probably going to come to a head this week, looking at these cards. So be prepared, but also open your heart and find that place of loving compassion and understanding. Because the other thing that is important to take note is if this person who is in your world that is creating a little bit of like a in your world, as the weekly reading said, look beyond the pain. I think that was the weekly reading. Maybe it was the previous. No, it was the weekly reading. Look beyond the pain. What is it that has been in their past that is creating this crinkle in your world, in their world? Remember, we often activate each other in our stuff that has to be healed. So that's something just to keep peaceful about, and remember, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're all perfectly imperfect, and it's a beautiful thing. Oh, did you like the crick in the craw, did you? Oh, jeepers. Oh, and your card that tried to run away is forgiveness. How telling is that? So who do you have to forgive? And how much forgiveness do you have to do to yourself? Give to yourself, not do to yourself. Give to yourself. Okay? You're going to have a very potent relationship week. I know what they're like. It's fun. She says through gritted teeth. It's fun. Thank you so much, Edwina, for your continued support over here on Find You Fridays. I am so, so grateful for you and your very kind donation. Oh, it's a blessing to me, and I'm just so incredibly grateful to you. So I hope you have a brilliant week. Be kind, be gentle to yourself, and be gentle to those around you. And remember that just lift your eyes and open your heart. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Find the things to be grateful for. So just along with that, and this is more of a general thing. So, for example, people ask me, like I was at a dinner a few weeks ago, and they said to me, "Oh, how's your mother?" And I said, "I don't know." And if you check my energy, you'll see it's very neutral. It's very peaceful. And one of the ways that really helped me get to that place of peacefulness with my mum, who's my only living parent, was finding the things that I was grateful for her being my mum. One of them being this amazing body, because I wouldn't literally exist without her. She grew this body, well, the small version of this body. But she also blessed me with, half of her genetics. She blessed me with some of her creativity. She blessed me with a lot of skills. And thanks to her and my dad, I grew up a very independent, resilient woman who is kind and compassionate. And if it weren't for her and my dad being the parents that they were, I wouldn't be able to do this with you guys today. And the parts that I'm not saying that I have in the past judged her for is she wasn't loving. She wasn't emotionally mature. She wasn't particularly present with me emotionally or physically. But like I said, it helped to create the space of gratitude for her making me an independent, resilient woman who knows what it feels like to have that and chose to not do that. She gave me the gift of choice to go experience this now, and now you can choose. Are you going to continue this pathway and be just like me, or are you going to go this way? You choose. And so I did. And I became the person that was too caring. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Even though it's been hard at times. Because the world can be a bloody horrible place sometimes. So yes. Remember that. Some people call it the Pollyanna technique of always finding that little nugget, the gold nugget, the silver lining to any situation. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. There's always something in there that you can be grateful for. Okie dokie. Tamara. Waiting so patiently for me. I'm so grateful for you. Poops. So, last time that we spoke, thank you, Tamara. I will get to your question in just a moment. I was talking to you ladies and gents about my next moon diary, and I did end up getting the 2026 version of the one that I've got. But what I'm going to do, because I don't like the fact that my moon diary ends up looking like this. It drives me nuts. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut the edge of my new one off. I'm going to use a craft knife, and I'm going to cut the glue all off the spine, and then I'm going to take the whole thing down to Officeworks and get them to spiral bound it for me. So that's what I'm going to do with my next moon diary, because the whole month page is not like this one, where it's like the top half of one page. So like the top half of the page is the whole month, and then the bottom is there's a bit of writing. The new diary has it spread over 2 pages, which I don't necessarily like, but that's okay. Tis what it is. I am fabulous. Okay. So once I get that done, I'll show you guys. Okay, which cards would like to come and play with Tamara? So in the Sophia code, in case you're wondering and curious where I'm up to with that, there was a little bit of a pause due to a death. And so we did White Buffalo Woman last week, and that was very, very, very interesting. And excuse me, nice energy shift there. So one thing I'm going to say to you all, White Buffalo Woman predicted that when she came back again, that a sign that she is coming is that we would see white buffalo being born. So naturally, just popping up out of nowhere. And back in 2016, I just did a bit of a quick Google search, and I saw back in 2016, so like almost 10 years ago now, there was some white buffalo being born, a little herd of white buffaloes. And then to this week, I saw a post about a yellow-tailed black cockatoo that is in, I want to say in a conservation park in perhaps New South Wales, but it doesn't look like a black, yellow-tailed black cockatoo. They've called it that. I don't know how they can call it that, because the majority of the feathers are actually yellow with little flecks of black through them. Golden, even. How interesting. And then on top of that, remembering I said 2016 was when the white buffaloes started. I saw a post talking about white buffaloes. I think that was in Oregon. And they were talking about the Pahutakawa trees in New Zealand, that some of them have popped up and gone golden. So what I'm going to ask for you guys to look out for is more signs, and send them to me, more signs of those random kind of like, it's like, oh, is this the white buffalo woman's signs again? And you'll feel it. It'll feel really light. So, wow. And all of that is to say that we are stepping into this next golden age. It's all very, very good signs that we're stepping into the next golden age. That's what we've been talking about for months, if not last couple of years. Has been talking about we're moving out of the 3D into the 4D into the 5D. All right. And we are very much in the 4D at the moment. 3D no longer fucking exists, even though some people think it still does. But it doesn't. We are now 4D people. And we are pushing ourselves. We are pushing ourselves and being pushed and encouraging each other into this next stage of the 5D, which is natural. And we won't be in the 4D for long. It's just a transition space. But helping us along this journey is our lovely ascended masters, including the White Buffalo Woman and Kuan Yin and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and Kali Ma and, all the others that we've been talking about with the Sophia Code. So yes, look out for those little signs of random plants and animals that are coming out as being not quite your usual colors. Things like white and golden. Because they do call it the golden Sophia dragon tribe. Oh, Melinda found a dead golden stag beetle by her front door this afternoon. There we go. A golden stag beetle. Cool. I wonder what that looks like. Alrighty. I'm curious what. Yes. You're going to love this tomorrow. Oh, dear. Looks like a Christmas bauble. Cool. All right. I'm going to leave that bit till a little bit in a moment. But yes, you have a goddess who's come out to help you in this next stage. And she's goody. She's a goody. I haven't had the courage to work with her. But my soul sister has, and has for a long time. And she absolutely loves it. So, first of all, we've got the wordy cards. I call them the wordy cards because they just got words on them. All right. So it says, a cause for celebration has arrived, and it is important to take our moment to enjoy. But this is just a step along the journey. Keep working towards your goal. So keep going with all of your stuff that you've been doing with the business and looking after yourself and all that sort of stuff. All right. The next card says, try not to be anxious about the future or guilty about the past. Do not allow yourself to give in to fear. All right. So keep your words positive, keep your words uplifting and full of possibilities. Okay. It's not I'm sick, it's I am healing. I am detoxing. It's not I am struggling with money. It's I'm open to possibilities of further finances coming in. So much more brighter, right? Your next card, holding on to things will block the flow of energy. Relax and be confident. All right. Now, with this one, I'm instantly reminded of the people who are on like Caesar Milan. I love that show. Love that show. And the dogs pick up on the people's energy. This is the same for your creations. Okay. So if the pet owner, right, is anxious, worried, nervous, even if the pet owner is not holding onto the leash, even if the dog is out and they're having fun, having a great time, they're being very balanced, just loving life, and the pet owner comes into the space, the dog instantly picks up on their pet owner's mood, their energy, and flips, right? And additional to that, when they are going for a walk, that energy is transferred directly down into that lead and onto the dog. And the dog, responds to that in not a great way. But it also can respond in a fabulous way. When the pet owner learns how to be calm and confident, relax and be confident, and doesn't hold too tight to the lead, the dog goes and behaves themselves, listens really well, because the dog then knows that pet owner, their pet parent, is the leader. So be the leader in your creations, but be calm and confident about it too. Relax. If you feel yourself getting really tight and tense around your creations, go for a fucking walk. Go do some stretches. Go have a cup of tea. Whatever it is. It's not about push, because that's not going to help your business. Okay? Again, be confident and tell others about your ideas. It will help bring about the necessary changes in your life. All right? Don't gatekeep too much. You don't have to give up away everything. There was something I don't know if you know him. He's Matthew Liam Gardner. And I have been a part of his community for the last 5 years or so. And he said something today that really resonates right now, and particularly with that last card, is that the really strong leaders in this world are wonderful. They're fabulous, but they almost never work together. They're off doing all of their own individual things, and they're not working together to provide more. And so much more can happen when we work together. So who can you reach out to in your circles that you could create something fabulous together? Maybe a full day workshop where a couple of you get together and bring different skills in, so that people can grow, shift, change even more by being in the presence of two of you or more at once. Obviously, timing is everything. But yeah, so let's have a look and see what it says across the cards. A moment to enjoy, try, relax, and be confident. All right, so you got that message. Now, this is why I was like, you got Hecate. Hecate is your lady. All right, so this is about past life healing. It's safe to speak. Set your inner witch free. Hecate's origins lie in Neolithic goddess cultures throughout Turkey, Bulgaria, and North Africa. To the ancient Greeks, she was a sorceress, queen of the underworld, and guardian of the crossroads. On the night of a new moon, food would be left for Hecate at the intersections of three roads, the Trivia. Her symbols are the black crow, a cauldron of light, a key, a dagger, and a rope. When the queen of the witches shows up, it's highly significant. You're ready to confront, work through, and permanently heal age-old soul trauma arising from the historic persecution of feminine healers of any gender. You've previously lived through events such as the witch hunts of the European Middle Ages, and that's left painful scars. You have wondrous spiritual gifts to share with the world, yet they've been buried under rocks of fear. You carry past life memories of being banished for your goddess-centered role as a wise one, witch, shaman, healer, or midwife. This old fear is very controlling, convincing you to remain silent and suppressed in this life. But it's time to dissolve the chains, untie the ropes, acknowledge the wounds, and unblock the throat chakra. Remembering the lifetimes in which you were persecuted for your spiritual power can be painful, but this is a healing process. Past life regression, breathwork therapy, and intuitive sessions can all help. Every step you take to speak your truth and reveal your wisdom, the more inner freedom you'll experience. It's safe for you to express your real voice, and your divine feminine energy is stronger than your fear. Additional meanings: your throat chakra requires support to clear and heal. Learn about Wicca or rituals to awaken your inner witch or wise one. You're in a liminal phase of a process or the crossroads. Be patient. The new path is soon to be revealed. Consult with a female elder or person who embodies Hecate's wisdom. Your invocation: Hecate, I pour all my fears of being visible into your cauldron of light. It's safe to speak and reveal my truth. I'll say that again. Hecate, I pour all my fears of being visible into your cauldron of light. It's safe to speak and reveal my truth. The time is 1:34. Hecate, I pour all my fears of being visible into your cauldron of light. It's safe to speak and reveal my truth. It is done, it is done, it is done. Yum, yum. Oh dear. Community came up for you, darling. So that's very much in line with that last card of speak with others. Tell them what you do. It's not necessarily about the specific creations. It's about speaking up and being more open about the things that you do, and find the people that resonate the most with you your dreams and goals and in your community, in your spiritual, metaphysical community in your area. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised what can happen. So I teamed up with a sound healer. I've actually teamed up with a couple of different sound healers. And while I'm not a sound healer myself, they are, and I provided body energy healing to the people who were receiving sound healing, which was really cool. So it can work in all sorts of interesting ways. Hecate! Welcome, Hecate! Oh, yes. Play with Hecate. She's very potent, very powerful. And yeah, fabulous. Fabulous. I'm so glad you got her. So glad. Interesting, Nick. So I've got a newbie. So anyway, before I go back to Nick, thank you so much, Tamara, for coming and being a continued supporter of Find You Fridays. I'm so grateful for you. And I really look forward to seeing how you go with working with Hecate for the next few weeks and allowing your business to grow and working with others. And I wonder what you're going to be creating for 2026. You said, tonight I shared my live stream on my personal page, which I never do. Hecate was perfect. We'll definitely be playing with her. Yes. Do a bit of a deep dive around Hecate. And the nuggets are out there. There's so many of them. So beautiful. So Nick has some wisdom for us. They said, it's about backing your words up. That one. Strength, honesty, and integrity. Owning one's truth. The wisdom to accept and give. Your spark shall light the fire. This is very true. And I've been around a lot of people who talk the talk, but they don't necessarily walk the walk. And when you're somebody who walks the walk, those people who are not doing that show up they show their true colors very quick. And the things that they say are wonky and weird, and it just doesn't fit, and it's like, then as you get to know them more, it's like, oh, that's why. Okay, I gotcha. So yes, I completely agree, Nick. It is about backing your words up. And none of us are perfect. We're all still remembering and gaining trust, really, in the choices that we're making are the correct ones for us. And yes, there's still a great transition space that's going on right now. And that can be challenging sometimes. Totally get that. But underneath all of that, if somebody is really truly being genuine and with integrity, even when they have a little wobble, it's like it's not as significant as somebody who's just not doing the work. So thank you for your little spot of wisdom in there. I appreciate it very much. Lovely to have you here. Thank you. All right, Christine is in the house. Okay, now I've got her questions ready to go. So she said, is Brenda or my dad, who has memory cognitive decline, wanting his gun back? What? I can't give him the gun since his mobility strength is not there and he has been diagnosed as cognitive decline. Okay. All right. Holy guacamole. What a question. Let's have a look. You have asked the question. We'll bring the lava kite out on this one, I think. Okay, so truth, show me a yes. Thank you. And show me a no. Thank you. Okay. So truth. Is it Brenda who wishes to have the gun back in Christine's dad's possession? At this point in time, it's saying yes to that. Let's just check the other way. So truth. Is it Christine's dad who wishes to have the gun back? Nope. That's a big no. As you can see. All right. Cool. So that's a big no. And in fact, I don't know if you can, but I'd be like getting rid of it to wherever you get rid of guns. Over here, it would be the police, and they then, get rid of them. But yeah, I'd just completely get rid of that if I was you. We don't have the same gun things here in Australia that you do. We don't have the same freedom to have guns in our houses that you guys do. So it's up to you, Christine, as to what you're going to do with that. But yeah, that's a tricky one. And not so tricky. As I said, the pendulum is very much saying no. It is definitely not your dad who wishes to have his gun back. He doesn't care. He has no interest in that anymore. It's curious as to why Brenda does want it though. Which makes me wonder. Let me just do it. Okay, so I just asked the tarot, please show me in one card why Brenda would wish to have the gun. We got the 9 of Cups. She wishes to have all the power, or the perceived power. And she believes that if she has the gun in her possession, that she will have the power. So don't give it to her. All right? So there you go. Interesting. Isn't it interesting? Human psychology is such a fascinating thing. Such a very fascinating thing. Thank you so much, very, very much, Christine. And I hope that helps. Please keep checking in with your own intuition, and if at all possible, if it's a gun that is like maybe it's an ancient collector's item type thing, maybe take it to a gun collector who can decommission it, and so make it so that it's not able to be shot anymore. If it's just something like a regular old handgun rifle thing, well, rifles aren't handguns, but anyway, goes to show what I know about guns. If it's just a little thing, I would just get rid of it. Like, I would give it to the cops or to a gun person that knows what to do with that sort of thing to get it out of commission. Like over here, all of our guns that people legally have to be registered and all that sort of thing, which is why they've got to go back to the cops to be deregistered and destroyed. So best of luck on that one. Thank you for your continued support, Christine. And good luck. Good luck, good luck. Good luck to you and good luck to your family. Now, those of you who are Australian of a certain age group will know what that came from. Yes, we got Comedy Company in New Zealand too. You know, she goes, she just goes. The Hecate ones. Oh, see, if I show you, then you'll go and get them for yourself. No, that's cool. It is the Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians one. It's this one here. It's pretty cool, eh? It's a good one. I love this deck of cards. This deck of cards helped me to identify when I had Hathor as the beautiful goddess that was guiding me through one of my previous previous upgrades. I'm pretty sure it was this one because I don't have a lot of other. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was this one. And it took a little bit to find her because I knew what she looked like, but I just wasn't sure what her name was. And once I found her in the deck, I was like, oh, right, sure. Don't think it. Where are you? But yeah, it's got all the really big potent ones in there. Including Kalima. Wow. Yeah, she does. Hathor, Mother Mary, all the goodies. All the goodies. So yeah, it's by Sophie Bashford, and the artwork is by Hilary Wilson. All right, my loves, let us do. Oh, yay! We can do some poetry tonight. We might get a few people playing. That would be good. So for those of you who are new to my show, welcome. So good to have you here. And this is the point in the show where I turn that off. All right. And we come back to here and we do a little exercise called the expanding out exercise. And before we do the expanding out exercise, what I would like for you to do is to write in the chat a question, a very specific question that you would like an answer to. All right. This is where the free-ish section comes from in my show. All right. But you're going to have to do a teeny tiny little bit of work as well. Okay. And what this is about teaching you to tune into your own intuition using a tool that you probably don't have in your hands. And for those of you who do, thank you. And what will happen is we'll do the expanding out tool, which is fabulous for any time, anywhere. It's like, it takes you to a really lovely light space where you feel the lightest parts of you. And it's just like, oh, I can actually float through the world now. And I don't feel so battered around because things just float past you and they don't stick to you in the same way. So this is why we do the expanding out tool. So think of that little question, all right? Pop it in the chat because I can refer back to it, okay? And then we'll do the expanding out tool, and then we will tune in on what number is going to best answer that particular question. And that number is not going to be your favorite number, more than likely. It's going to be some other random number. So if you've got a question about maybe what's the rest of the year going to hold for you, what's the next week going to hold for you, are you having troubles with a particular relationship, are you thinking about your health, are you thinking about finances, are you thinking like just whatever it is, pop the question that's popping into your mind into the chat now, okay? And then we can answer that using your intuition and a bit of mine. We work in with each other, okay? So we work on this together. It's a community thing, and it's just a bit of fun as well, all right? So for all of you out there who haven't had a reading, and even those of you who have, please pop your question in the chat and we will have a little bit of a play. Because one of my greatest aims in this particular time in life is to help you all feel more comfortable with tuning into your own intuition. And I'm helping you to see that you do have the capabilities to do this. And the most beautiful thing is when somebody, like, I remember when I was in my first stages back in 2016 and things, 2015, 2016, and I would be going through a lot of self-doubt, like going, I can't do this stuff. Like, this is just I don't know how to be as amazing as you. Because I was mentored by a couple of very, very potent, intuitive people, healers. And I just said, I don't know how. And they're like, of course you can. And I was like, but how? How do you even know? And they're like, pause for a moment and look at yourself through my eyes. And I was like, what? And they're like, just have a little look at yourself through my eyes. Go into breath, drop your barriers, and have a look. And in those moments, I could see what they could see. I had that awareness. So this is kind of my little version of that moment of going, you know, even if you don't think you do. It's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. All right. So we've got a couple of very brave ladies who have put their question in the chat. Some of you might be waiting to put your question in the chat. Please do. Please do that now. then we can do the expanding out tool. All right. So the tool that we're going to be using to gain your awareness is the beautiful poetry book. And this poetry book is the one that I wrote, and it took 25 years to write it. And in here, there is 88 poems covering all sorts of different ages and stages of life, and through the great highs and low lows. And it created itself to be an intuitive poetry book. I didn't know that's what I was creating, and it wasn't done lightly to release it, to even write it. But there we go. As I say on the back, a journey from total numbness to consciousness, one woman's discovery of the whispers of awareness that have been locked into the once closely held secret pages of a poetry book. An emotional and energetic uncovering of greatly guarded and locked away chapters in a story that spans over 25 years. Oh, doesn't that sound great? So, in conjunction with yourself, your own awareness, your higher self, sometimes it's your spirit team. It's all in there. It's all in there. All right. Cool. Thank you, Nick. Sort of. Will they see what I see in themselves, or are they too stubborn to open their eyes? Interesting question. Cool. I look forward to seeing what number comes out for you. All right. So talking about eyes, close your eyes now. Take a big deep breath in, all the way down to the bottom of your belly. Taking a big deep breath out. This time as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. As you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth energy and the unconditional love all the way up. Bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Become aware of your body. Become aware of the cells and the molecules of your body. Go all the way down so you can see the atomic level. You see the protons and the neutrons zooming around the nuclei. And as you observe, you see that you are indeed actually 99.999% space. Nothing is solid, nothing stuck or stagnant. Even the cells which you might be perceiving as dying, it's just when you look at it from this point of view, you see it's just energy that is shifting and changing and being redistributed to other areas. If you choose to go just that little bit further, you can see and perceive that you are indeed an infinite universe within you, and that you indeed have all of the knowledge of all of your lifetimes, as well as universal knowledge and the knowledge of your higher self, all within you. Now expanding out your awareness in a big bubble, up into the sky and down into the earth. With you in the center, expanding out your awareness. Expanding out beyond the building that you're in. expanding out greater than the country that you're on. Expanding out greater than the planet. And if you find yourself yawning as we expand out, it's because your energy is touching the other people who are listening to this right now. You're aware of each other and you're helping each other to release. Release all that stuck, stagnant energy that's no longer serving you. Expanding out your awareness now beyond the size of the solar system. Expanding out your awareness beyond the size of the galaxies. And now expanding out your awareness beyond the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in. Just give your body a moment to get used to being this expanded out. And now, focusing on your body once more, grab your sense of allowance and expand that out beyond your body. In a big bubble, up into the sky and down into the earth, remembering that as you expand out your allowance, you go from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, where you feel at the effect of all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you feel bashed and trashed about and like you want to go and hide from the world. And as you expand out your allowance, you become like the big fluffy white cloud floating along, and you look at that big raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and you see it for exactly what it is. It's just energy. And you can choose to play with that energy, or you can choose to just float on by. That is the gift of expanding out your allowance. So now as you expand out your allowance up into the sky and down into the earth, expanding out again beyond the size of the country that you're on, expanding out your allowance greater than the planet. You may yawn here again as you become aware of all the other people listening to this, doing this process. Expanding out your allowance greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies. Expanding out your allowance greater than the universes. And now greater than your awareness. Take a big deep breath all the way down to the bottom of your tippy toes. And breathing out. And now in relation to your question, what number between and including 1 and 88 is the most expansive answer for your question? Okay. Cool. Nick, I am curious to know, now that you have done the expanding out process, what is the number that has popped up for you, as it's still 76. Tamara. You chose 88. Can I have a sneak peek into what 2026 has for me, please? And 88 is gratitude, the space between seconds. Stumbling through life, hints of awareness whisper, only to be discounted or made wrong. Hoping and wishing something else is possible. Gleaning information, slowly gaining ground and pace. Shaking off the shackles and lies, creating a brand new existence where knowing and awareness pulse. Seeing what is and what isn't with clarity. Playing with choice and expansion. Becoming more at ease, falling in love with true self. Seeing the molecules, perceiving energy flows, receiving different beings, creating new possibilities, and embracing the gratitude flowing into and through the space between seconds. For you, Tamara, given this particular poem, your awareness of what that means for you is obviously paramount. My awareness of and what your team is telling me is that this year to come is going to be an absolutely fabulous year for you. It's not necessarily going to be all ease. However, you won't feel so stumbly as you continue on through this year to come. You are already at a point where you are seeing what is and what isn't with clarity. You are already halfway through this poem. And your capacities and your abilities to see beyond the veil is going to grow, and you are going to continue to be an even more incredible, phenomenal healer, facilitator moving forward. Okay, so it's going to be an absolutely amazing year for you. Thank you for coming to play. Melinda, you got 45. What does the rest of 2025 hold for me, please? Serenity. Two old souls coming together to form one, living as if it's always been this way. Happiness surrounds us like a light emitted from our being. A calm has spread over me, just as the ocean after a storm. This peace I embrace unquestioningly along with this feeling of wholeness. Melinda, for the rest of 2025, you're going to find your peace. You're going to find that place within you, particularly around this upgrade that you're having at the minute. You're going to find that place within you where you feel safe enough. And it's not really dependent on your job or anything like that. It's more of where you're at within you. And so during this time of upgrade, what I'm seeing here is tap in to your inner self, tap into your inner child, and do whatever it is that they require for you to feel peaceful enough, safe enough within you. Okay? Take this time, this few days, to do whatever it is that you require to do. You've got loads of tools, you've got loads of people to give you healings or whatever you require. So, yes. You're going to walk away from 2025 feeling incredibly different than what you did walking in, even this month. When you've walked into this month to how you're going to walk out, you're going to feel very, very different. So, congratulations. All right. Nick chose 46. Sorry, 76, not 46, 76. You chose perfectly, by the way. Thank you, Melinda, for coming to play. Self-honesty, Nick. Such a delicate balance, one's happiness and love, to pull away, to give space, to allow you to think. But my heart wants what is opposite to my head. My gut wants the same as my heart. I know that if I let you go, my heart will hurt. You are so special to me. I am complete within myself. But you access a part of my heart that very few have ever done. I am allowing you in. I am not frightened of what you might think of me, but I am frightened that you may decide not to be with me. So this is perfect for your question, actually, because what's happening here is the fear. And the fear of free will of the other person. So what I would recommend in regards to this one is just stay open. Stay open and honest and honoring of you. And if they're meant to be there, then they will be. So thank you very, very much, Nick, for coming to play. And what a very interesting poem to choose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tamara, I have to go pick up my daughter from work. Good night, and we'll see you next week. See you next week, Tamara. Thank you. Mwah. Love to you as always. So thank you to those of you who came to play, who were brave enough to come and enjoy and play with my beautiful poetry book, which of course you can get on Amazon. If you would like to, you can find it this way. I've got all the links today. See, I'm very organized today. So the rest of the meditation is coming. That's the first part of our meditation. We will now be slipping into the next part of meditation, where we look at, I tune in on what has been floating around today, particularly, or even this evening, and we do a specific guided meditation now. So stay tuned. I'm just going to have a little bit more water. So yeah, that tool, the expanding out tool, you can use that anytime, anywhere. I took you through it the slow way to start off with, and I do that every show. And the reason why we do it that way is so that you get a really good comprehensive understanding of what each part means. And then the way that I do it is I expand out, if I want to break it down a little bit, I say expand out my awareness beyond wherever I've been before. And then I expand out my allowance beyond that. And instantly I'm like, boom, boom, done. And I've been using that tool for, probably 8 years, I would say. And I know when my world is contracting and I'm becoming like that, tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of the raging river, because I do feel sad. And I quite often will just not be this bright, bubbly me, which is my natural state to be this. and I feel it's like I can feel everybody's pain, and I can feel, and it's harder for me to remain neutral. And I don't get angry these days, but I feel the heaviness of it all, and I won't be smiling very much on those days. So it's like I know I have to expand out, and I know I have to do a little bit of extra work. So yes. All right. So in relation to all of that, the meditation that we will be doing tonight, we are working with this lovely full moon energy, and I am going to be taking you through a process which is about making peace with your regrets of the past. Now, for those of you who sit there and go, oh, I have no regrets, because if I didn't have, those experiences in the past, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's true. However, without the regrets, you don't strive to do better. You don't strive to make different choices. So while a regret can absolutely be a distraction, if you use it in a way that helps you to expand your life, to do things like, say, for example, you might regret not being there for someone as often, and then they've gone and passed away. Rather than have that stay heavy on your heart, you can make the conscious choice to go, I'm not going to make that same mistake with other people in my life that are still living now. Okay? And that's where the regrets become the impetus for greater and more conscious choices moving forward. Okay, so that's where we're sitting with this today. A lot of people use regrets to hold them back, and I'm inviting you to today make peace with those regrets, so that you can use them for nuggets and steps towards a more conscious, greater, sparklier, delicious, incredible version of you, where you just have that love in your heart that you can then freely use to your best advantage moving forward. Okay. All right. Hopefully that sounds fun for you, because that's where I'm being led to go today. So let us have some fun. And for this, we're not going to theta today. We're going to be just interesting. Where are we going? Interesting. Cool. Close your eyes. Taking a big deep breath in. Just allowing your shoulders to relax. Allow your chest to relax. Keep breathing deeply. Allow your back to relax. Allow your hips to relax. Allow your thighs to relax, and your knees, your shins and your calves. Your ankles and your feet. Allowing your arms to relax, and your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and your hands all the way out to your fingertips. Allowing your throat to relax, your jaw, your teeth and your gums, your tongue, your nose, your eyes. Allow that beautiful brain to relax. And now allow your scalp and your hair to relax. Take a big deep breath in and out. And now imagine that you're walking along a beautiful path. And this path has got lovely soft moss on the ground. And you're walking in bare feet. And this path that's beautiful and soft with the moss is leading you towards a beautiful cove. You've got lush forest behind you, and it's dark. And as you come out of the lush forest, you look up and see a big, beautiful full moon. And it's glittering down upon the ocean, which is very still. And on either side of the cove, the trees in the forest give way to big, tall cliffs. And while these big, tall cliffs, while in the darkness and the moonlight, look quite imposing, in this moment it feels safe, like the earth is wrapping around you, holding you safe while you journey. And you walk down from the mossy path onto the soft, still warm sand from the day. And the sand gives a funny little squelchy noises as you feel the sand between your toes. And as you slowly, gently, lightly move towards the water's edge. And the water just laps very, very gently at your toes. And the sand is much firmer where you're standing now. And because the water is just ever so lightly lapping, it's not pulling the sand away from your feet. Once again, you're looking up at that big, beautiful moon. And you start to feel the moon's rays of warmth, of potency, of magic, shining down all over you. And as these beautiful moon rays come down, and you feel the sand and the water and the earth all around you, you feel the warmth of the sun, which is still coming up from the sand, where it has warmed it all day. You have all the elements around you. You have the fire warmth of the sun, the air, water, earth, and spirit, or ether. The ether is coming to you from the moon. Now I'd like you to place your hands in front of you. Palms facing each other, a little bit distance apart. And imagine that you're holding a ball of light. The moon's energy comes down and feeds this ball of light, which is in between your hands. And as this ball of light solidifies, it looks a little bit like a glass globe or a crystalline globe. But it's not that solid. But as it takes shape, you start to see within this ball of light images and people. Sometimes it's situations, and in some cases it's a feeling. You may see yourself within that ball of light. And the theme of everything in there floating around like a rotating TV screen. These are all the instances and the moments where you have felt regret. Just observe them from a neutral point of view. If you feel a little bit like And as we've said thank you to the moon for the beautiful gift of tonight, we said thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. We reach down into the water and say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. You move out of the water and crouch down and touch the sand and feel the warmth of the sand. And we say thank you to the Father Sky and the Sun for using the warmth of the fire of the sun to warm the sand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we said thank you to the air around us for holding and giving everything life. And as you turn and move back up the mossy path, you hold your arms out from your sides, palms up or forward, and you touch the lush forest, the ferns, and the gentle ferns upon your fingers tingle. And you walk through and you feel and touch the old ancient trees. And you are once again back in the forest where you feel safe and calm and peaceful. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you to Mother Earth for always being there. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Coming back to your body now. Big breath in as the forest fades away. Big breath in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. When you're ready, open your eyes. Please have some water and a little bit of salt. Whenever we do energy healing, it's very important that you do those things. The body requires both the salt and the water to help process. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful, phenomenal week to come. And remember, have some fun, get out there and enjoy your childlike wonder side. And until I see you next week, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. And I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.